OpenAI just announced a lot of cool new products during their Dev Day 2025. It just happened yesterday. And while there were a lot of new launches, we are going to talk about the AgentKit. So I started playing around with AgentKit, tried to build a few agents of my own, and I thought, why don't I compare it with n8n, and if it's better or at par with what we have with n8n. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to build those agents with AgentKit, and you don't need any prior coding knowledge for that. So let's jump right in. To start building your own agents with AgentKit, you have to go to platform.openai.com. There on the left, you will go down to agents section. And within agents, you click on build agents, and there you will find the agent builder. Just click on that. Click on open agent builder. There's a big doc here. If you want to read through it, it's absolutely fine. But you just need to click on open agent builder. They have provided a lot of templates here as well, like data enrichment, planning helper, customer service, structured data Q&A, document comparison, internal knowledge assistant. And a lot of these you can just start with them right away because the whole node, the workflow is built there. But what if you have to build something from scratch? I'll tell you step by step. So if you want to do that, create a workflow from scratch, just click on create. And you will already have two nodes here, which is the start and my agent. So if you are familiar with n8n, then amazing, because these nodes, the connectivity and everything, it's quite similar to that. Not as functional yet, but still you will get familiar with everything right away. So there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. First of all, that you have a start, the workflow starts from here, of course. And my agent node is the node that we used to have in n8n as well. And as you can see, it's got the same thing. You can name it whatever you want. You are a helpful assistant, and then you can include chat history. That's a cool feature actually, because you don't need to include an external memory. It will just save everything here itself. And then you have these models that you can pick from. GPT-5 is the default. You can just change it to something else. And since it's pretty expensive for the demo purpose, I usually use the 4.1 mini. So let's just switch it to 4.1 mini. And then there are some tools that you can use. So for example, you have your client tool, and you have MCP servers that you can connect with, file search, which is the vector database, web search if you want to search the internet, code interpreter, and also a function node. But to keep things simple, we are not going to build any codes here. So the demo agent that I'm going to test in this workflow is a chatbot. And the chatbot that we already built in one of our videos, which was the Insurance Co chatbot, which used to go through the vector store, read all the insurance company's documents, and then respond to customer queries. Now we are going to do the same thing, but in this one, and see how better or worse this one is. So let me just remove this agent here for now. What happens is that we have the start function here. This is where everything starts. Now we have a lot of things that you can access from the left panel. For example, either you can add an agent node, you can put an and to the workflow as well, a note if you want to put like a sticky note. File search, this is for the vector database that I was talking about. The good thing is you don't have to connect a lot of other vectorization tools or a vector database. Everything happens within this model, so it's pretty simple that way. It's very easy actually. And then you have guardrails. This is amazing. I'll tell you why. And then we have MCP access as well. You can access a lot of MCP servers. If else, like the conditions that we can use, while is the loop node, and then we have user approval for human in the loop. Data, you can transform, change it to something else, convert files and all, and then set state. I haven't tried this one. So yeah, let's just start with guardrails first, because this is the cool new thing that we have. So if I click on guardrails, and you just need to drag it here and connect it just like your n8n, what happens here is that within guardrails, you have a few things that you can modify. For example, your personally identifiable information. If we look at the settings, it has a lot of features, like, so you can remove data if it contains certain things like personal name, email ID, phone number, IP address, credit card number, and things like that. You have in country specific IDs as well. US, you have bank account number, social security, then UK, Spain, Italy, Poland, Singapore. Most of the countries are covered here, including India and Finland as well. So just for the test, so I'm giving you an example. What I want to make sure we don't receive is some sniffing attack. What that means is sometimes in the prompt, in the chat, someone can put a malicious URL. And if it's a URL, then this guardrail should just reject the chat, because in this chat, I'm not supposed to get any URLs, because URLs are risky. My agents can take that malicious URL and I might get hacked. So just for test purpose, let me just click on URL. If I add that, then you have pass and fail, which is if it's a URL in the message, then it fails, because that's my guardrail. If it's passed, then it goes to the next step in the workflow. And apart from that, you have other things as well, like say, for example, moderation, what kind of moderation that you want to have here. For example, harm, hate, harassment, jailbreak. This is interesting because it will try to flag attempts to bypass AI safety rules such as prompt injection, role playing, or system prompt override. So the zero attack video that I'm working on right now talks about the same thing, that how these prompt injection can actually harm the whole ecosystem that you are building. It's a safety security risk. So you can add this as well. Then you have hallucination. This is an interesting one. So a guardrail to prevent hallucinations, and continue on error, that if there is an error, then it'll still continues, because sometimes the workflows, they just stop without you knowing that it has stopped. At least it should give you an output that, there has been error. Can you go check? So something similar to what we have with n8n. So for this video, I'm just keeping it at that URL filter, that I do not want to pass any URLs. So for both of the steps, pass and fail, I need to set a workflow. First of all, if it fails, I just need to have a simple workflow where, let me just connect it. If it fails, then this agent, what is this supposed to do? It should just reject the message, the incoming message. So I just gave this simple prompt that if the guardrail has failed, then always return the string web URL detected. Please remove any URLs before sending your message. So that's the simple response a user will get if they are just putting a URL in the chat. And after that, I'm going to just change it back to 4.1 mini. Just for the test purpose, nothing else. Right, so we have two conditions. Now for fail, it goes to this agent. Let's just rename it, call it Guardrail Agent Response. Now, yes, now what happens if it passes? Now, what I need to do is, let's just add another agent here, connect these again, and I might receive two types of inquiries, right? One is if it's a new customer who's saying something like, I want to buy a new insurance. And second, that might be an existing customer or someone who is just looking for general information, FAQs and all. So I want to create two separate workflows based on those incoming messages. So this agent that I'm working on now is supposed to do that, classify the messages, detect, and then classify the messages if it's coming from a new customer, potential new customer, or someone who just wants some information. Why? Because if it's a new customer, then I would send it to my customer support team who can just call them and close the deal. But if it's just basic information, then my RAG agent can go ahead and talk to that person, clarify everything that they're asking for. So I'm just going to rename it as well, classification agent or classifier agent, doesn't really matter. And then I have this system instruction as well that I pasted here, the prompt, which is classify each incoming message as either buyer, if it's from a potential new customer, interested in purchasing insurance, or information. So two tags, buyer or information. You have to just categorize them. Information if it's from someone seeking answers to FAQs or general information. The output format is written with just one single word, buyer or information. All right. Now, one more thing that we'll have to do apart from changing it back to 4.1 mini is that the output format here has to be JSON. And the reason we are using JSON is because after this, we have to put an if else node, like based on if it's a buyer or just someone looking for information, it should divide the workflow into two. For that, I need a JSON output. So what we do is that first of all, we select JSON here instead of text. Then we also add a schema, not very complicated, trust me. So you go to properties, responsive schema, you add this property name classifier. So, or classification, right? Within classifications, I'm expecting two values. So I change it to enum, and the values are buyer tab, information tab. So now it will classify incoming message into buyer information. Not very complicated. Trust me, just repeat this process if you want. Right. So anything else here? No, just update. All right. So this classification agent should be able to classify within buyer and information now. After that, what we will do? We need to divide it by if else. If it's buyer, goes this way. If it's information, go that way. So now we are going to add on the left if else node. Just again drag everything just like n8n and link it. Now inside of if else, if condition is that first of all, let's call it buyer. The condition is if it's buyer, then what will happen? So after that, what you have to do is that you have to type exactly what I'm typing right now. Input dot output, right? Underscore parsed dot classification. All right, because in the output, the last output, I am getting that classification, and that should be equal to buyer, right? Because the condition here is for buyer. So if it's a buyer, go to one workflow, else go somewhere else. Let's just check once more. If you go back to classification agent, in the response schema, we are giving buyer lower caps, information lower caps. Because they are just two conditions, we do not need to have else or else if nodes. Just one condition is fine. If it's buyer, go this way. Everything else, go the other way. So what we'll do after that? If there is a buyer, then I need an agent, which is a sales agent. Let's just call it sales agent. Let's just move it a little bit so you can see. So the job of the sales agent is just to collect email ID and phone number. You can make it more comprehensive, more structured. Ask the agent to talk to the person like in a friendly manner, get more information. But for this demo, I'm just going to ask this agent to ask for email ID and phone number while responding, because it has been classified as a buyer anyway. So all we need is a phone number, email ID, so that one of the humans can talk to that person. You must be wondering why I'm saying that human should talk to the person. That's up to you. You can add another AI agent or just make this sales agent convert that user. I just believe that human touch is necessary when you are selling something. It's not easy to sell things completely with AI. In any case, so we will need a simple prompt here, which is, you are a customer support representative for Insurance Co, the company that, the hypothetical company that we created, who deals with incoming leads. Your job is to get email ID and phone number from the person and inform them that they will get a response within 24 hours. Okay, change it to 4.1 again because I am poor. Okay, output format is text, all good. Now one thing, yeah, that's all we need to do actually. So the role of the sales agent is as simple as that. Now the other one, we have to create another agent for when someone is just looking for information. So I connected with the other agent and let's just call it support agent. Support agent. So this agent works only as a customer support person. It's not trying to sell anything. Now for here, apart from the system prompts, what we have to do is we also need to give it access to some document, a database, because it needs to talk to the person based on everything that we have stored about the company, FAQs, different type of insurances, customer support contact, working hours, and things like that. So what you can do is, it's not very complicated again. It's much easier than n8n, but not as flexible. So you click on tools and you click on file search. Now this one is going to create a vector store for you. If you already have a vector store, you just need to put your vector store ID in there and we'll start using it. But for this demo, I'm just going to upload a new file. So I'm just dragging this Insurance Go FAQs here. So let's just call it something. Okay, Insurance Support Agent FAQ. So this will be the name of the vector store. And either I can select a vector store or I can just attach it, as simple as that. Or I can add more files to it as well. It can have multiple files in that vector store. If you're confused about vector store and drag, because I've been repeating that a lot, I made a video on that as well. Check it out. It's everything defined in very simple terms. So once I press on attach, it's very, very fast. So yeah, we are done. So now it will access this file using the vector store. Output format is text. The model, go back to the cheapness, is 4.1 mini. Yeah. And then we just need to put a prompt in there. So you are a customer support representative for Insurance Go. Use file search tools, this tool, to search internal documents and respond to the incoming message in a friendly tone. Got it? Okay. Is there anything that I need to change? Oh, no, not really. All right. There is one thing that I want to tell you, because you might face this once you start building it. So for example, if I have to add another agent here, so I don't want this one, how do I link this if else to this agent? Because if you click on this node, there is no way you can disconnect it with the previous one. So how do you connect? And even if you click and drag and try to do anything, it will just not work like n8n. What you have to do is these lines, the connecting lines, double click those, click on the delete step button here on the top right corner. I'm telling you because I was confused about it. I couldn't figure out. It took me a while to figure out how exactly I should disconnect a node and connect something else. So I ended up deleting the whole node instead of just the path. So anyway, we don't need this one. So what you have to do after this one is just do a preview. So in the preview, we are going to test three things. One is the guardrail. If I pass a URL, will it reject my message? Second is, if I am a new buyer, will it send me to the customer support, the human, ask me for my email IDs and phone number? And the third thing that we will test is, if I'm not a buyer, a new potential customer, will it just respond using the vector database, tell me everything that I need to know, FAQs and all, right? So let's just preview it. So on the top right corner, you click on preview. And here you start with, let me just send this message first, www. Hey, google.com. So that's my message, www.google.com. It's a very simple URL. Let me just press it and see. This is just a preview node, so it will show you everything else. So the first thing it did was it went to Guardrails. It checked www.google.com. It shows it failed, right? And as soon as it failed, the response was web URL detected. Please remove URLs before sending your message, right? Not very complicated. So, and the thing is that this is exactly the message that I left here, like in double quotes, web URL detected, please remove any URLs before sending your message. All right, so this, the first thing, it worked, the guardrail. The second thing that I want to do, that we want to try is, if I am a new buyer, a potential new customer, will it send me to the sales agent or the support agent? Because the sales agent is supposed to handle the new buyers. So let's see. Hi, I to buy auto insurance. So let's see, if I'm interested in buying auto insurance, what would you do? Okay, it was a little slow. Okay, so you see it highlighted the path our query took, the workflow. It start to guardrail to classification, if else, and it's sent to sales agent, because the support agent here, it's darkened, it's not highlighted. So this was the flow of my workflow. So I sent this message. I sent a hi, I want to buy auto insurance. It classified it as a buyer. Then it went to the sales agent. All good. Now, what if I am an existing customer, or maybe I just want some information on the type of insurance that it has. So let's just try this one as well. So, hey, how can I what is the So I'm asking it, how can I claim my auto insurance? So see, the classification is information, and it searched a file which is auto insurance claim process and how to claim auto insurance. The two things it searched within the file, the vector database that we created. And this is the whole thing it found from the vector database, which is notify us within 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. And a contact as well, which is an email, hypothetical email. No one, please don't reach out to this email or call this number. So yeah, so yeah, this works. Amazing. So this is a simple agent that I was talking about. Now, what you can do after this one as well, that, for example, you have this sales agent, right? And after that, what if you want to send an email to someone? What you can do is click on MCP here, and they have a lot of inbuilt MCPs. So for example, you have Gmail, the whole Google suite, Microsoft Office is also there, at least some of those. The third-party servers, Zapier, Shopify, Stripe, and all. What we can do is connect it with Gmail. So for example, if I send it to MCP now, and within MCP, if I add Gmail, I have to add access token here. And to get that access token, you click on the link, you'll find all the APIs, the Google APIs here. Once you click on it, click on authorized API, you will get the token. And you just paste the token here. It's much easier than what we have with n8n, where you have to go to the developer console, create the whole account, approve, create apps, approve the whole access, OAuth and all. Yeah, it's very complicated there. So you have Gmail, you have Google Calendar if you want to schedule an appointment or something. Then you have Zapier, and within Zapier MCP you can get access to a lot of other APIs as well, a lot of other platforms. So my suggestion is try out Zapier's MCP. You will be glad. So in any case, so these were the things, let me just delete this, that you can do, a simple workflow that you can try with OpenAI AgentKit. Interesting, not interesting. What the hell is interesting? Oh yeah, one last thing. That was just a preview, and after that what you can do is that you can also click on publish here, and when you publish it, you will get a webhook, and you can use that webhook to link it to any website. You will get your own chat interface, the access there as well. So that's all you have to do actually after this one. But the process to implement webhook is much more complicated than that with n8n. If you are a non-technical person, yeah, it will be complicated, it won't be easy. So if you're a non-technical person, maybe a marketer like me, then this one thing will make sense to you. Other things like apps in ChatGPT or the APIs, GPT-5 Pro in API, these things, I mean, it's fine. They are just giving us access, but there is nothing interesting for non-tech person. If you are into building workflows, then getting those APIs like Sora 2 or ChatGPT 5 Pro in your workflows, and if you have money to afford those APIs, sure, then it's something interesting. Or if you are in coding development, then the Codex product that they have been talking about, I haven't looked enough into that one, but that's something that you can try. But as a marketer, I'm telling you, AgentKit is something that you will get excited about, or Sora 2 in the API, because now you can use this Sora 2 API for video generation. It's going to compete with the VO3. So if you like this video, please give me a like, do subscribe, it keeps me motivated. See you in our next video. Cheers.